Excuse me. We actually conclude today this book, Chayvel Mazik, learning the laws of now guarding life. We spoke about murder, which the opposite. Now, how do you guard life? How do you guard life? So, Rambam, chapter 11. It's a positive commandment for a man to build a guardrail for his roof, right? In other words, you're building a home. You need a guardrail for a roof. You can let in. Thank you. A guardrail, as it says, and you shall make a guardrail for your roof. This applies with regard to a building used as a dwelling. But for a warehouse, for a cattle barn, and the like, there is no necessity. Similarly, any building that does not have 4 cubits by 4 cubits, which means 6 feet by 6 feet, does not require a guardrail, right?
Like
So
6 feet off the ground.
no, 6 feet wide by 6 feet, right?
But doesn't it depend on the height?
Huh?
Doesn't it depend on the height of the building?
We'll probably get that measure, but but height is not what defines a house. It's the width and the length that will define what is a house. So it's less than 36 square feet, and that's not going to be called a house. Might be a shed, right? But not a house, right? A house owned by two partners requires a guardrail. As can be inferred by the verse, for one who falls may certainly fall from it. The obligation stems from the fact that one may fall. Right. So it's not about who owns the house, right? It's the fact that there's a house that someone could fall from the roof and hurt themselves. So in others, the verse is not saying from your house, singular, right? It's just saying falling from the roof. That's what the obligation becomes to safeguard life. And so why does the verse say, oh, it actually says you're gagecha, I'm sorry. It does. Right? So Rambam asks, to exclude synagogues and houses of study, for they are not intended to serve as dwellings. Right? So that you're not obliged. That means yours, meaning it's a personal home, right? I guess personal home, that's where you live and hang out and so on. So, the truth is, I'm giving reasoning. When we're learning halacha, it's not about the reason at all. Right? Unless the verse gives the reason, which the verse doesn't. All it is giving you is the parameter of the law. So the parameter of the law is, right? Because you could say, well, I mean, what, a synagogue, you don't have to, people hang out in the synagogue. And why don't you have to make a guardrail to protect life? That's all rational. And that's all based on, you know, on your perspective. On your perspective, you might say that. But that's not Torah, that's our God's teachings. God's teachings is what God said. And from there, we want to understand what he said. He didn't give a reason. He just said that someone might fall in and hurt themselves, right? So what is the parameter for that? He's also saying in the Torah. Now, the rabbis might come along and say, oh, there's problems in synagogues and not a house of study. So, synagogues, you're going to have to make a guardrail. That would be a rabbinic law, and they could do it. They haven't, that's not done here, if I recall correctly, right? Um, okay. that clear? Okay. If a public domain is higher than a person's roof, he does not need to erect a guardrail, for the phrase "for one who falls may certainly fall from it" implies that a guardrail is intended to prevent people from falling from the roof and not onto the roof. So in other words, right, it means that you could fall, but if you're in a place where your roof, I guess you're not going to fall from there because the public domain is, I don't know, I don't know how that would work exactly, but it'd be like here's your roof and here's the road
Right.
higher than your roof, right? And I guess obviously there's not enough space in between. Somehow it's butted against you, right? Um, you don't have to make a guardrail because no one's falling, right? Number three, the height of the guardrail should be no less than 10 handbreadths. This is a handbreadth, means like about 40 inches. So a person who might fall will not fall from it. A guardrail must be a partition strong enough to be enabled a person to lean on it without falling. Okay, right? Again, part of the parameter of the law. Anyone who leaves a roof open without a guardrail negates an observed and positive commandment and violates a negative commandment. So both positive and negative commandments they are transgressing. Do not cause the blood to be spilled in your home. The violation of this commandment is not punished by lashes, for it does not involve a deed. Remember, you get lashes if you didn't fulfill a negative commandment, but that's only if you did something, right? If you did something. Right, but here by omission, because you didn't make the guardrail, so therefore there was no action involved, so there would be no lashes involved, right? This requirement applies to a roof and similarly to any place that might present a danger and cause a person to stumble and die. For example, if a person has a well or a cistern in his courtyard, he must erect a sand wall 10 tefachim handbreadths high around them, or make a cover for them so that the person will not fall in and die. Right? Because, yeah, someone. Similarly, it is a positive commandment, mitzvah, to remove any obstacles that could pose as a danger to life, and to be very careful regarding these matters. As it states, beware for yourself and guard your soul. Right?
Who said you have to be white to be a national socialist? You don't have to be white.
Right? Beware for yourself and guard your soul. If a person leaves a dangerous obstacle and does not remove it, he negates the observance of a positive commandment. The violent taken of commandment do not cause blood to be spilled. Wow. Okay. Number 5. Our sages forbade many matters because they involved the threat to life. So we finished with the guardrail, right? And we just spoke about creating a what's a dangerous obstacle, right? Now, whenever a person transgresses these guidelines, I will risk my life. What does this matter to others? I am not careful about these things. He should be punished by stripes of rebelliousness. Stripes of rebelliousness is rabbinic, right? Because this is our sages forbade, not the Torah. So it's not biblical law. Yet, the rabbinic authority could give stripes, could give lashes, but it's called stripes of rebelliousness, and it's rabbinic, not a biblical law. They include a person should not place his mouth over a conduit through which water flows and drink. like a fountain. Not all these laws are completely in effect today because of the nature of things today are different than back then. Nor should he drink at night from rivers and lakes, lest he swallow a leech without seeing. Certainly, a person should not drink water that was left uncovered, lest a snake or poisonous crawling animal might have drunk from it, and as a result, the person would die. Right? Okay. Again, these things do not apply today. That the word poisonous. Still, we are careful on these things. We're still careful of these things because even though he's giving reasoning over here, there's still deeper Kabbalistic things that are involved. And right. So I know uncovered drink, like, yeah, you had a bottle of water and you left it open. We're not worried. These are liquids that are forbidden if left uncovered. Water, wine, even watered down wine, or wine that flavor began to change to vinegar, milk, honey, and brine. Other liquids are not forbidden if left uncovered, because venomous animals will not drink from them. When garlic has been crushed or a watermelon cut open and left uncovered, they are forbidden. Same applies to analogous situations. Prohibition against drinking uncovered beverages does not apply to wine that has been boiled or unfermented wine. Unfermented wine refers to wine from the time that it was squeezed from the grapes until 3 days have passed. Similarly, the prohibition against drinking uncovered beverages does not apply to wine, water, milk that are hot to the extent that the vapor rises from them, nor to liquids in which the liquid is descended from above to drop after drop, providing the liquid continuously descends. For crawling animals fear bubbles and vapor and do not drink from them. Okay, I have to stop over here. All right. So
Good Shabbos, everyone.
I think it's the 11th book or 12th book.